software working now, so we can dive in. Normally, I would have released a pre-recorded video because I've been doing professional video recording and editing and all that kind of stuff. And I would have taken something from my most recent recording in my archive. I would have released it today, but there's something in the news that I just had to talk about. I just had to touch base with you guys. So today we're going to be talking about lessons from Art Basel in Miami last week. So for those of you who aren't familiar with what happened, last week there was a big art show in Miami and somebody took a banana and duct taped it to a wall and sold it for $120,000. Yes, you heard me correctly. They sold a banana duct taped to a wall for $120,000. They actually sold another one of these that wasn't present at the show for another $120,000, and then a third one for $150,000. So that's a total of $390,000 for 3 bananas duct taped to a wall. Some people have been talking about this. It's been going around on social media. It's been going around all over the place. Funny enough, the saga actually continued. Somebody did not feel that this was, they thought that this was kind of crazy. So what they did is they walked up, they took the banana off the wall, took the duct tape off, proceeded to eat the banana. They were then escorted out of Art Basel. And then the artist, what they did was they issued a certificate of authenticity to the person who had paid them that any banana that is duct taped to a wall now counts as the official banana duct taped to a wall. The art piece was called The Comedian. So as a result, there's a lot that can be learned from this. A lot of people just, thought it was crazy. They laughed at it. They were like, what's going on? This is ridiculous, all this kind of stuff. But there's actually a lot of really interesting lessons that can be learned here that I wanted to share with you guys when it comes to you and your career and what's possible for you. And I think the first thing, the most important lesson that comes out of this whole Art Basel thing is the lesson that there are a lot of limiting beliefs that people hold around whether or not they can charge a certain amount for a certain thing. I think it's very clear from this story that if you present yourself with confidence and you find the right people in the right market, that you can command prices that most people would have trouble believing. And so I have many times with my clients, they don't understand what they can actually charge. They don't understand their true value, and they don't understand that if they put themselves in the right environment, talking to the right person with the right messaging, that you can actually charge, 10 times or sometimes even 100 times what you thought you could, based on your limiting beliefs and based on, what you're thinking of yourself. A lot of people value their own time at, close to minimum wage, and they don't think that they can get much more than that independently. But what Art Basel shows us is that you absolutely can. The second lesson that is important to take away from Art Basel is that what you believe to be valuable and what other people believe to be valuable are not the same thing. I would never pay $120,000 for a banana duct taped to a wall. I just wouldn't do it. Listen, I like art. You guys can see in the background. I've got a nice photograph up there that is a long exposure photograph of the stars and the Milky Way from this beautiful place up in the mountains. And, I was at an art show and I bought that photograph because I think that, it's really, really beautiful. You can even see, I've got 2 more similar kinds of photographs up here. So I love art. I'm not going to pay $120,000 for a banana duct taped to a wall. Doesn't appeal to me. I don't find it valuable. Chances are the artist didn't find it worth to be $120,000 either. But somebody did, right? And so the point is that regardless of what you think something's worth, if somebody else thinks it's worth something different, that's your customer. And in this case, the customer is right. The customer is always right in the case of how much your thing is worth because they're the one paying for it. Now, the customer is not always right in every scenario. I mean, certainly as a coach, right, most of the time my clients are wrong in many of the things that they believe, which is why they hire me to help them understand why they're wrong so that they can get what's true so that they can actually make progress in their lives. But the point is that when it comes to the payment and the value of something, the customer is always right. And so there are many people who either they don't see the value for themselves and they can't step into the shoes of someone else and that they would actually pay a lot more. Or the converse is also true, that people will think that something is super valuable, but they won't be able to step outside of their own shoes and see that most people don't see the same value that they do and they don't have the same emotional attachment that they do. And then when they go try to sell this, the business will fail because people won't be willing to pay what they're asking. right? I saw, you can see this on Shark Tank sometimes when people come, especially the earlier seasons, people will come up with these kind of like ridiculous things and they like don't really have any sales. And they're like, this is the most amazing thing. And they're super passionate about it, but nobody really cares. That's the kind of thing where people don't realize that the true value is set by the customer. And then the third lesson that you can take out of Art Basel is that you're always going to have haters, right? If somebody sells a banana to tape to a wall for $120,000, my response is, listen, more power to them. Wouldn't be me selling it, wouldn't be me buying it, but great, good job. But some guy decided he was just going to go eat the banana, right? And the truth is that if you ever do anything extraordinary, you're going to have people who are going to hate on you. You're going to have people who are going to make fun of you. But that doesn't mean that it should stop you from doing it. Because guess what? That person just picked themselves back up, wrote out a little certificate of authenticity, which they were going to have to do anyway because the banana is going to go rotten anyway. Gave it to their buyer and everything was cool, right? They figured it out. Whereas the guy who ate the banana, he got nothing except a little bit of media coverage and he got kicked out of the event. So, at the end of the day, don't let the fact that some people are going to hate on you and some people are going to disagree with you or contradict you stop you from doing something that's great. I had a viral video that went viral a couple weeks ago, got over 200,000 views. And I just had somebody comment on it last night and they were coming at me hard. They were accusing me falsely of copyright infringement, of all kinds of stuff. And I just sat there, I didn't let it get me upset. I just responded calmly, hey, this is what's going on, right? More so for the benefit of people watching than for that individual, because normally you can't reason with people who are just hating because they're coming from a place of insecurity and jealousy. But in this case, the person actually did have some legitimate points around the fact that many people hold themselves out there as guides, but they don't understand any of the practical components. And when it became clear that I was actually, that I knew what I was talking about and that this was serious, then they backed off all the craziness and we actually ended up having a wonderful discussion. But that wouldn't have been possible if I just been like, oh my God, this person's hating on me, delete, man, I don't know if my business can work. Like a lot of people let other people determine their emotional state and their belief in themselves. But if somebody's not the customer, then they're not right? Like if a customer tells you, hey, listen, I don't want to buy this, and you think they're a good lead, you listen to that. But if some random person who's not in your target market, who's just there to hate on you and be jealous and troll on you, says something, doesn't matter. Ignore them. They are just as relevant as the guy who ate the banana. Write out your certificate of authenticity and move on, right? And the artist still gets to keep their $390,000 and that guy got none. So, that's how it works at the end of the day. So guys, those are the 3 lessons that I want to share with you from Art Basel. 1, your limiting beliefs around what you're worth probably aren't true. 2 is that ultimately value is determined by the people who are making the purchases. And 3, don't worry about the haters. Don't let them stop you from doing anything great. So guys, I wish you the best. I will see you guys next week and have a good one. Bye.